This video was sponsored by Squarespace. Lately, I've been experimenting a lot with my extruder and I've been getting so inspired. So I've been looking online to see what other projects people are making with their extruders. I found the work by this incredible brand called Tajimi Custom Tiles. I thought this idea was brilliant. And I've been wanting to make more of these horse candlesticks that I made a few months ago. And I thought, extruded animals, horse candlesticks. Let's do it. I also have a ton of reclaim that I would love to use up. This feels like the perfect project for that. So we're gonna use the big boy extruder for this. And of course, I had to get a custom die. So this was 3D printed by my friend Thomas. And is this not a cool design? So I just designed this in Adobe Illustrator, sent it to him. I don't know anything about 3D printing, but he made the magic happen. So the thing about this extruder, which I find annoying, is the handles kind of bump into the way, but I designed this so that it would have so I have to put one handle here, so it doesn't corrupt the shape. It's not the best designed tool, and honestly, if there's any extruder companies out there wanting to sponsor, please let me know because I'm fed up with this one. I don't actually know how this is going to work. I'm a little worried that it's not gonna get as much detail as I would like. We'll see. I've never tried to extrude such a big shape before. I have a feeling like at the beginning it's not going to be the right shape, but maybe as the clay gets compacted in there, this is my hope. Oh, this clay doesn't want to come out. This clay is a mixture of all of my stoneware clays, so it's going to be a surprise what color it will turn out. I mean, it's mostly going to be white tan because that's mostly what I use. But there should be some variation because I've used that orange clay not that long ago. I've definitely got some interesting colors. The thing I dislike about this extruder is this little guy is so painful to get in. It just ruins your hand after a while. There has to be a better way. I can't tell what it looks like yet. This is really easy to extrude because it's such a big piece and this clay is quite soft. I feel like I need a third hand. How do I cut this and catch it at the same time? Okay. This side doesn't really look like anything, but have a look here. Look at that. That is perfect. Oh my goodness, how cool is that? It's so funny because when I was making those candles, I was being inspired by those wood Spielzeug, wooden toys for kids, those classic Christmas toys. But I was saying I'm not going to make them flat like those. This is way closer to those than what I actually made. I feel like coming full circle here. Let's make some more. I think I'm gonna call it there. I haven't used up all my reclaim, but I have used up 4.5 bags. I've used up, which is a pretty good dent in my humble opinion. I need to save some for the candlestick part, and I'm planning on putting a base as well. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do that, but I want to save a little bit just in case. So I need to let these firm up before I can continue working with them. They're just too wet now to continue, but I can get started on the candlestick part of these. But before I do that, I need to show you something that I did last week. I have not thrown a candlestick on the wheel in a really long time, and the reason for that is because I lost my guide. I used to have this wooden spoon that like the handle part of it was the perfect size and shape for my clay shrinkage that would fit in the end after firing a perfect 2 centimeter standard taper candle. And I don't know if it's just me, but I find it like really intimidating to calculate for the shrinkage of a candle because every millimeter counts here. Especially in a project like this that I'm using reclaim. Like, what is even the shrinkage of my reclaim? So I want to fix this problem today. So I use my favorite tool, my new laser cutter, to cut some little guides to test how wide this candle cup should be. Basically, I'm just going to throw a bunch of candlesticks with these and we'll fire it and glaze it and everything and see which one makes the perfect size. Okay. These are the results. I have a whiter version of the clay and a tanner version of the clay. Basically, the difference is between this clay, I don't know if you can see the color difference, and this clay, I really doubt you can see the color difference, but some of the clay is a little bit pinker than the other clay, and that just means it has more of the tan clay in it, and I wasn't sure if they would shrink at the same rate. So I made a version of the white clay and a version with the tan clay. And I think my tan candlesticks are looking really cute, but now we need to figure out which one is the actual right size. Candlesticks are all slightly different from one another, but I'm gonna use this one as an example. I got this candle from IKEA, so hopefully it's gonna fit your candle. This one's a good one. Too big. Also good. Okay, wait, wrong. Too big. Okay. So 26 and 24. I believe this is a 2 centimeter candlestick. 2 centimeters seems to be like the goal for these candle making companies, I'm gonna say. Give or take a centimeter or two. Of course, you can always drip some wax and stick it. Of course, you can always shave down the edge of your candle a little bit, but I wanted, ideally, a candlestick that is just perfect as it is. And I feel like 24 is definitely better than 26. So we're gonna set that aside. With both of our reclaims, which is really lucky, it's both 24 millimeters. So we're gonna use our 24 millimeter doodah. And you probably noticed I did make a newer version. Basically, I wanted to make it a little bit longer so I could have more grip to it. Even though I know that like 24 is the right one for this clay, I'm glad I have this little collection here because now I can test it with other clays. Like this is not the only clay I use. I also use a slightly lower fired red clay. So I'm happy to have this, but for today, all we need is the 24 millimeter one. Let's go throw some candlesticks. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they're an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out and succeed online. I've personally been using Squarespace ever since I started my online business because it has incredibly easy to use features, including their drag and drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, I know you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. I'm gonna be throwing this off the hump. It's not something I do very often, but I feel like it's the only sensible way to throw these. Basically, I'm gonna be throwing like 100 tiny little cups. So it really only makes sense to throw them this way. But I haven't done this in ages. Anyway, if you're curious to hear more about throwing off the hump, I do have a video, like it's an old video, so don't judge me. But I think it's a pretty good video about how the process works and like some tips and stuff. Just have to figure out like how much clay I even need. That's way too much clay. I feel like I want my cup, my candle cup, to be about halfway up this, or like halfway between the bottom. Can you see that? Halfway between the bottom and the text. I want it to be about that tall. And this is too much clay. It's the next day. These are a little bit on the wet side still. I'm not sure if they're ready to be assembled. Maybe I can cut them. And then last night I came down and I flipped these guys. These are all my little cups. Some of them are better than others. I'm not sure. So these are a little on the dry side. These are a little on the wet side. These are a little on the dry side. I guess I'm gonna try and keep these wet, and maybe, like, these things are so thick, like it's no wonder they're not drying, they're massive. So I'm thinking maybe we can cut them today. I'm gonna keep these, I'm gonna wrap these up really good in plastic, spritz them with a water bottle, and hopefully they stay wet. Maybe we can try assembling them today, but I'm guessing we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. But I do think it's a good idea to cut these today because I don't think that they're gonna dry. They're not gonna dry very well until they're cut. So whenever I want to, like, basically pause time for something when it's drying too fast, is I make sure I put plastic on the bottom as well, and then I completely envelop it in plastic. And then because I'm in the basement here, that's usually enough to keep things wet. A lot of people use damp boxes. I've never felt the need to make a damp box, but maybe that changes if I ever move out of a basement. I'm also not sure that these are enough, and I only did them in one color, so I'm sort of anticipating that I'm going to have to make more, but I kind of wanted to cut them and start assembling them, and then I can know, like, I have no idea how many horses these are going to make. So I'll probably get back to the wheel at some point. So, how am I gonna do this? I think I'm gonna use this guy. Just cut it like that. If you saw my Narikomi video though, I need to elevate these guys somehow because this, I don't know if you can see. You can't see. This doesn't go all the way down. So, okay, I rated my wood stash. This is not straight, but it should be fine. And then, yeah, this is what we want. Now the same issue with my Narikomi project is that I need to try and cut these as straight as possible. I guess it matters less than the Narikomi project, but I'd like them to be straight. Okay. This kind of looks like the Narikomi with the inside. This is just because I put two different colors of clay in. This is just the more brownish, tannish clay. It looks purple, but it's more brownish, tannish. There's a streak right there, and then there's the white clay on the outside. I don't think the variation will be that much once it's fired, but it does feel a little bit like Narikomi. Need to make it wide enough for the cup. Oh, that looks cool. I'm getting really excited. Okay, 3.5 centimeters. So I think I'm just gonna mark this. Well, horse, what do we think? And then put this guy on top. I mean, he's chonky. He's definitely a chonky guy. I'll smooth the edges out, but I want to keep that like block shape. Like it looks so cool on the original artist's pieces. And I might add some little eyes. I feel like that looks kind of cool. And then we go like this. Obviously, candle's gonna fit. I dig. And then the question is what color? Oh. As usual, I want to do like very bold primary colors, but I'm wondering also if I should do some more neutrals. Maybe people like those better because I do want to sell these. I want to do a mixture. I want to experiment. That's very exciting. Okay, this is going so well. Okay, shockingly, this is going smoothly. I'm gonna put this away and then let's just cut a bunch of them. So I'm not gonna be able to use all the pieces. Like there's some random bumpity bumps. Like this was a bubble. I'm gonna smooth out as much as I can, but there is gonna be some parts that I have to skip over and that's fine because then we make it into more reclaim. And then we can recycle it again. Cool, let's do this. Okay, guys, Look at these. Not just those. Look at these. I feel like I have a little army here. This is crazy. So I did have to throw away quite a few chunks. Like, you know, there was like bubbles in a bunch of them, things like this that I had to throw away. But I mean, I still made quite a lot of them. I'm so excited about them. Let me just see if I can attach one and we'll decide. Then again, I kind of want to smooth them before I attach the candles. I definitely don't have enough candles. It just looks so good, does it not? I cannot believe. I feel like the shoe has to drop because this so far has been so smooth and so easy and it looks so good. I am a little bit worried about how thick these chonkers are. Like, this is so much clay. You know, like when you're teaching people how to do pottery, you say, never make walls more than 1 centimeter. This is 3.5 centimeters. And obviously I'm going to do everything I can. Like, I'm going to slow dry it. I'm going to dry it for a long time. I'll probably candle it. But I'm not worried about these guys because I think that I can manage to fire these without cracks. I'm worried about these guys being connected to these guys because these guys are normal. These guys are not that thin. It's like less than 1/2 centimeter. It's like 4 millimeters thick, like a normal wall. And then the thickest part I'm going to be attaching to these guys. So I feel like the best thing I can do is wait until the horses are as dry as the little candle cups because shrinkage, cracks, etc. I don't know. I think it's worth to let these dry out for another day and then attach. Yep. But what I can do is count these and throw whatever ones I'm missing. And then I can also throw some in this purple tan clay as well. So let's do that. Okay, that took a good bit of time, maybe 2 hours or so to throw these guys and these guys. So we have both colors and I counted them up and so I hope I threw the right amount. Should have thrown the right amount. My little candle guide has gotten quite ravaged. I don't know. I mean, it was working until the very end. I'm sure it would continue to work. It's getting quite fuzzy, like the wood is starting to fall apart and the text is almost not visible. HDF is definitely not the right material to use for this. Part of me wants to make these out of plastic, but I also feel like I don't really want to make things out of plastic. I don't know. Like, it's one thing doing a one-off and making extruder die with plastic, but I was thinking, because my brain can only think about tool making right now. I'm so fascinated by the idea of making tools. I was thinking, oh, this would be another great thing like the circle guides that I could sell, but I don't know. I don't think I can sell them like this. So I think I would have to cut them out of like plastic, or maybe I could 3D print them. I like that idea a little bit better because with 3D print, you can use recycled plastics. So at least it's not like virgin plastic. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if this would be an interesting product for you. I'm really glad I made it, but I'm not sure if this makes sense to make into a product. Anyway, I am excited about these products, these candlestick holders. I am so tickled by this. This is like, I mean, I say this way too often, but I'm getting really, really excited about this project. So what I have to do now is let these dry. I'm going to flip these later tonight so that the bottoms can dry and just monitor them tonight and tomorrow morning, and hopefully I can guide them to a similar amount of dryness so that we can make good adhesion. That would be really cool. Yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is a gloomy, rainy day today, so I've got my artificial light on. Something pretty funny happened this morning. So unlike I said yesterday, I did not remember to flip my little cups last night. I also left my dehumidifier on. And I left it on because everything was so wet and I was like, okay, if I'm going to flip these this evening, I have to put this on now. Completely forgot. Woke up this morning. Actually, the birds woke me up because it's spring at like 6 a.m. and was laying in bed trying to go back to sleep. And I remembered that I didn't flip anything. All of my horses were out. All of my cups were out just like I left them yesterday. And I think I got to them just in the nick of time. They are wrapped up right now back here. Man, oh man. My brain sometimes is like Swiss cheese. Like, I need to set reminders for myself to do almost anything. When I leave the studio for the day, I sometimes mentally leave the studio for the day too. But the benefit of living above my studio is that I was able to just come down. So I flipped them, I wrapped them really well, and I think they might be just right. These guys are also just right. And then my cups are looking really, really good. So like, funnily enough, I feel like if I'd covered them, they wouldn't have dried enough, like especially the horses. Maybe it worked out well. So I've got 3 boards of these now. The game plan for today is first I'm going to sponge these guys down. I'm going to smooth out the edges. Then I'm going to attach the cups. I might add some details like the eyes today, or they might be too wet still, so I might do that tomorrow. I'm not sure. But then we just wrap them up and let them dry out really slowly. So I feel like we're getting to the end of this project. I am curious how long it's gonna take me to finish all these guys though, because I usually don't work in such huge editions, but we shall see. So I think I'm going to use my Mud Tools sponge. It's quite red. It's not meant to be red, it's from the clay. And I find that the sponge smooths the piece without pulling away too much clay because I want these guys to stay smooth. I don't want to expose too much grog. I'm just gonna go over all of the edges and smooth out some of the sharpness, but I'm not trying to make this perfect. I kind of like how it looks a bit, you can see the materiality of it. I really like these extruding lines. You can sort of see how it was made. The question for me is, do I keep stuff like this? I feel like this one is fine because it's on the bottom, so you're not gonna see it. There's also a little one here. I personally like that stuff. Like, it's showing the process, the materiality, the imperfections. I like that stuff. I'm not sure if other people will or not though. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna keep them because I like them, but I'm going to make it very clear in the listing that you can expect something like that in your piece, like that there's going to be imperfections, stuff like that. Yeah, let's work through this and then we can get to attaching. I'm gonna put on a podcast or something, I think. So I got through them all. I'm thinking that took about an hour. I'm going to add the candle cups now, and I'm really excited about that. I hope that I can get through that quickly, but I'm thinking it's gonna take hours. This is very much one of those repetitive, mindless activities, which I sometimes enjoy, but it can get a little wearing, that's for sure. I might have to give these like a quick once over with my finger just to smooth them out. The bottoms are quite ugly, but obviously that doesn't matter because I'm gonna score them anyway and rough them up. So maybe, yeah, I'm not going to go through these. I'm just going to start attaching them and touching them up as needed. These are going to look so cute. Okay, let's attach these. Finished attaching them all. That took a bit of time, but they're looking really freaking good. I have wrapped them really well. I've got 3 boards and a little mini board. My partner just came down and he was like, "Why are you making stuff for Christmas?" And I was like, "Oh no, they're Christmas things." But I'm like, they don't have to be. Come on. Candles are for any time, right? I do admit it's a bit Christmassy. I mean, that's why I made the original candles, was a Christmas thing. So I do see that they are Christmas candles, but it's fine. Horse candles are all year long. I'll definitely make some red ones, so those are gonna look Christmassy, but maybe once they're like white or black or I don't know, blue, they're gonna look more like all the time candles. So I decided against adding the eyes today. I think I do want to add eyes. I at least want to try it on one and see how it looks, but I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. I'm going to slowly dry them, and when they're at the right level of dryness, I'm going to tidy them up and add the eyes. And I'm planning on just doing, I've done this many times before, so you've probably seen it already, but I usually just use like a little drill bit to make eyes and just like a little indent. It looks nice. Okay, I'm gonna let these chill now and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my Friday evening. See you maybe tomorrow. Good morning. It's the next day. I'm really excited to finish these. I wanna get them dried and fired so we can start playing around with glazes. Basically, today, I'm just tidying up and adding the eyes. I think that's all I'm going to do, and they're looking adorable. You can see there's just a little bit of roughness around the edges here. There's a little bit of scoring lines. This all needs to get smoothed out before we can call them finished. So for smoothing out scoring lines, I'll usually use a rib. And then I also have this, I've been calling it a rubber pencil. It's like a gummy little guy and he's nice to get into edges. So I'll use probably one of these two things. Yeah, that's a good tool. So I poked all the little eyeballs. I had to raid my stash of drill bits to get the perfect size. And I think they look so cute. It's definitely like a very abstract horse, we'll say. But I think they look extremely cute. I'm really happy with them. Because the clay is so wet still, I'm getting like this burr around it as I drill in the eye hole. And I could wait for it to dry more, or I can just let it dry out and try and like not disturb the burr. And then when it's completely dried out, I can just use a rib, or even sometimes you can just use your finger and you can just rub out that burr and it will like crumble off. Instead of, if I try and do that right now, the burr kind of gets smushed into the hole again and it gets really messy. This is my experience with burrs. Ideally, you wait until the clay is a little bit drier before drilling, but I didn't want to in this case. I did find it quite fun to work in this like crazy, massive series. I never make so many, I guess with the exception of my little lucky frogs, I never usually make such a giant collection of something, and I'm really excited about it. I hope that you guys like them. I hope that they turn out. One thing that I want to flag, and I hope that you guys can let me know down below in the comments if this is something that bothers you. Some of them aren't perfect, like this one. It has like a little piece cut away from his foot, and it's on like maybe a fifth of them or like a sixth of them have this, you know, imperfection. And I personally don't mind it, but I sort of wonder if people are going to be upset if they buy it and then it arrives and it comes with this imperfection. So you let me know down below in the comments, please, if that's a problem for you, because to me, they're perfect. You know, like I don't mind the imperfection. I think it's got this like wabi-sabi quality to it. Like it's not meant to be perfect. So I think I'm going to just sell them as they are and not even count as seconds, because I don't think that they're seconds. But I think what I'm going to do is in the listing itself, I'm going to say something like, mention the imperfection that might happen just to prepare people. To me, that's kind of the charm of them. Anyway, I'll let these dry out. Week and a half to 2 weeks. assuming that I can put them on a hot kiln. If I can't put them on a hot kiln, I'll probably candle them. I do need to let them properly dry. The next week or so of like how I dry these and how well they dry is going to kind of determine whether or not these are successful or not, because the main issue is the connection of this thin cup, the thin candle cup, to this very thick little booty body here. So pray for me. And yeah, I guess I'll see you when they're ready to go in the kiln. Okay, I managed to fit all the horse candlesticks in and a bunch of other fun stuff. So that's a very satisfying kiln load. So let's just pray that these are fully dry, because if there's any water still left in them, they will explode and probably damage all the other stuff that's in there. So pray for me. Okay, be good. Okay, we're unloading the bisque kiln, and let's hope that we have whole horses, not explosions. It has actually been a couple weeks since I've bisqued these because I wanted to do some tests, and here they are. So I tested a bunch of different colors. We've got the dark blue matte. We've got a white, this kind of very light glossy yellow, which I love. Sky blue, dark blue, magma. This is my frog green. We have red and glossy black. So I've been spending some time trying to figure out what I want to go forward with. I kind of love how they all look like all together. They're so pretty and colorful. But I can't make so many different colors. I feel like that's kind of crazy. But I want to make like a small collection. So if I can come up with like 4, if I can eliminate half, that would be good. I feel like the green doesn't really work, so we're gonna take him out. And then the blue, it had some sort of reaction to the Reclaim. Reclaim is gonna off-gas a little bit more than anything else. I'm guessing it's because of the cornstarch that I put into the clay. Also, just due to the thickness of the clay, it's going to off-gas. So this glaze doesn't seem to be very forgiving. And you can see there's a couple of bubbles, pinholes. I don't like that. That's to me like a not positive flaw. Some flaws look nice, but to me that's not a nice flaw. So I think we're gonna eliminate the blue, even though I think the color is really wonderful. I can't decide. I love both of these so much. This color reminds me of those Dala horses from Sweden. It's a kind of an orangey red, more like this magma color, but this red is so like Christmas to me. It's such a classic red. I also love it. I definitely have to keep the blue and my yellow for sure. And I feel like I have to keep white just because white is such a classic. I need to at least eliminate one more. I think I'm gonna go with the black just because it's another glossy glaze, and then they all go together as glossy glazes versus the blue. This is like my one satin glaze. This is hard, but I do already have a blue and I definitely want to do this sky blue. So okay, we're gonna eliminate this blue. Should we do 6 then? I mean, 6 might be nice because then people can make a set and kind of mix and match them. Because I'm imagining like a set of 4. Like, if we do... That's a really nice color combination. Or we do like... Also nice, we're in our primary zone, the zone I like to live in. Or that's also really nice. Or we go a bit moodier. Did I arrive at the same combo that I started with? That's also really cool. This is like the German flag version of it. I think we're gonna go with 6. I mean, obviously you don't need to mix and match them. I also think a pair would be really cute. Like, Or, oh, I just love playing around with these colors. These turned out so good. I'm not sure I've expressed how much I love these pieces. They're so freaking nice. Okay, let us glaze these. Decided to pack them a little bit looser than they otherwise might fit because I am worried that this kiln gets too hot. And not to mention there's like several layers of shelves in here because they're short pieces as well. I'm a little worried that the color is going to get burnt out, but we will just have to see. I'm really, really excited to see these pieces turn out. It's always so anxiety invoking when you have so many pieces in one kiln load because, you know, you're just hoping that things are going to turn out because it's a lot of work in this kiln. Anyway, be good and we'll see how they turn out tomorrow. Okay, well, the worst thing that can happen to a potter has happened to me. I came downstairs yesterday morning to check on the kiln and it was displaying an error message. So the firing had not been complete, full of all of my beautiful pottery. I've since unloaded it and I'm gonna save that for the end, but I don't know what's wrong with my kiln. I'm gonna try and change the element because the error message was showing that I could not get to full temperature. I don't think that my elements are that old. Honestly, normally I replace my elements when they're starting to sag and fall out. Maybe I just did a really good job of sticking them in and they're actually old. I am not the kind of potter, I'm not organized enough to have written down my firings when I change my elements. I ought to, but I don't. And I'm really hoping it's the elements because this is the only kiln maintenance that I've done myself already in the past. I know that there's certain other things that can wear out on a kiln. I just have never had to deal with those problems and I'm a little scared. Working with these big expensive equipment scares me. So I'm just going to pray to the good Lord that fixing these elements is gonna solve the problem. Luckily, one thing I did do that is very responsible and forethought is that last time I bought elements, I bought a second pair. So I already have, actually, I wonder if I can, is there a date on this? Ooh, very cool. Wow, I didn't even think of that. These elements were delivered in September of 2024. Okay, I think this gives me a little bit more confidence because if these elements have been sitting in here for 1.5 years, it probably is time to change them. Okay, let's hope this works. I'm gonna give you a little of like a very brief rundown of how it works, but I'm not an electrician and I really don't feel comfortable teaching people how to do this. So this is not a tutorial. Unplugged, unplugged. First step is to remove the elements that are already in and we need to disconnect them here. I never know what to do with this thing. It's the grounding wire and it doesn't come off easily, so I don't know. Next step is to take photos of how everything is. Black and blue. Black on top, blue on bottom. Black on top, blue on bottom. I'm also gonna take a picture how far these stick out. Theoretically, it's so simple. Like these guys just attach to the ends of the elements wire, and now they're detached, so we can pull the elements out from the other side. I don't know at what point the kiln was when it stopped heating, because I was firing overnight and I just checked in the morning, but I actually fired it again because I was like in disbelief as to what had happened. And I thought maybe, you know, this is a very old house, it's original wiring from the 80s. So I thought maybe there was a weird electrical thing that happened. So I fired it again and it was looking really good. And it peaked around 12:20 is my guess, maybe 12:30, which is so close, it's so close. I peak at 12:40. So that makes me feel like it could have been the elements, especially with these, because it was a very packed kiln. Like these horses, they're so big. they take a long time and a lot of energy to heat. So that's making me feel a little bit more optimistic. By the way, if you are feeling very overwhelmed about this, you just contact your supplier. Like I just email Rhoda and they ask me what kiln I want and they send me the elements. Definitely going to order another round because I think it did take like 2 weeks for them to arrive. And they come with installation instructions. But I just want to encourage you, like it feels like a really scary thing, but it's really not that bad. Of course, I shouldn't say any of these things. Don't sue me if you burn down your house. Don't do what I'm doing. Okay, the coil is in. Now I just need to use these pins and connect each corner of this hexagon, octagon, whatever the heck it is. I find this to be really fiddly and annoying, but it's just tedious, you know? Brand spanking new elements. Look at how beautiful. Last step, I need to cut these bad boys because they are way too long. We're ready to put it back together now. When I lived in Berlin, I used to have a kiln guy. That was, I don't know, I think he was a licensed electrician, but he also knew his way around a kiln, so I always hired him to help me with my kiln stuff. I don't have anyone like that here. But you know what? I was just thinking I should probably reach out to Rhoda because I feel like they would know, maybe in the area. Maybe Rhoda knows someone. Okay. Now I need to do a ghost fire, and I don't remember the program for that, so I'm hoping that this instructions can help me. So a ghost fire is when you fire without anything in it. I think this is to oxidize the elements. I am not sure, but I know you're supposed to do it. So we're gonna go 100 degrees Celsius per hour up to 1050 degrees Celsius. Then we're gonna soak for an hour and 30 minutes, so a long ass time. Up on top there. My normal soaks are like 20 minutes. And then I guess we just let it cool. So, okay, let me program this. Okay, it's all set up, but I'm actually going to wait to do the ghost firing until tomorrow because it's already afternoon, it's 5 p.m. And this whole firing is gonna take over 10 hours. I know that it's probably not necessary, but just out of an abundance of caution, you know, I did do the electrical work myself, so I'm going to be extra safe and just fire it when I can keep an eye on it. I think that's a good idea. I'll see you tomorrow for the ghost firing and also the reveal. So cute. Our horses are done and I love them so freaking much. I am so relieved. So You can definitely see a little bit going on with the double firing and the over firing, but what I was worried about is these thick boys cracking, and I haven't found a single crack. The glazing is a little washed out, like you see it most on these red ones. This is our sample. This is the red that was fired totally normal in the kiln. And then this was the red that was fired almost to temperature twice. And because the kiln couldn't get all the way up there, it was trying for a really long time. So just the ramp was so slow, and basically reds especially apparently burn out. And anyway, colors in general tend to burn out when it's over fired or fired for too long. You can see it also on the blue. So this is the normal blue and this is the slightly washed out version of them. That said, I don't think that they look bad. I think that they actually look really great. At first I was like a little bit shocked by some of the patterns, but like it's actually so beautiful in my opinion. You feel free to disagree, but like this reminds me of those Appaloosa, those spotted horses. It's just so pretty. Like each one is so interesting and unique. So these are the yellow ones. There's like quite a variation here. I guess it's just like a lighter clay, and then this is the one with the darker clay mixed in. I mean, you know I used reclaim, so the clay is a little bit crazy. Let us test our candle. This one a little loose. That's a really good fit. I mean, obviously all these candles are different. This is an IKEA candle, and these ones are like some beeswax candles that I got from a website. Yeah, it fits really good. I mean, there's definitely still some variation. I can't promise you that it's going to fit your candle perfectly, but that's why a lot of candles come with like these ridges, or this candle is really nice because it has this taper. I think that's pretty good. I think that any candle that you buy, or any candle stick that you buy, any candle holder that you buy, you're going to need to, you know, squiggle a little bit sometimes. I think this is pretty cool. I'm very, very pleased with these. I kind of want to make more now. I think they look so good. And I'm just imagining these up on my mantelpiece, like during Christmas or any time of the year. I like when they have this weird dirtiness to them. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but I really like that. I like that kind of rusticalness. The black pretty much covers it up completely. And then another thing that sort of happened because of the overfiring is there's a little bit of pinholing on this one, but because this is like purely a decorative piece, I'm not gonna worry about it. I think it goes with the rustical nature of these pieces, and yeah. So if you want to buy one of these, I'm going to have them in my online shop. I'll also have the original ones as well, the ones that are not overfired. Like look at how vibrant this is compared to these guys. This is the not overfired, this is the overfired. It's not so different. Please know that if you buy one, I'm going to try and group them into like similar pieces. So like these guys will be in like 2 different listings, but for example, these guys might be in the same listing, right? So I'm going to try and group them to like similar, but if you buy one, just because they're all unique, it would be a nightmare for me to make a listing for all of these individually. So I'm going to group them into, I don't know, maybe 10 different variations, and then you can choose which one you want. Please be aware that it might not be the exact one in the photo, but it will be very, very similar. And I hope that you have fun mixing and matching them. I think that they're really, really cute. And then I thought also, I don't know if anyone wants these. I was originally planning to list them in my shop. I'm not sure if people want these, so I'm really hesitant to like make them and list them in my online shop. So what I think I'm going to do is, if you want one of these, I'm gonna make a made to order listing. I did that recently with some tiles and it worked out really well. So I'll make an option so you can purchase one of these on my website, but I'm not gonna pre-produce them because I don't know if people actually want them. Because keep in mind that they do wear down. I mean, it still works, but you can see that the label has worn off. You can see this is the one I was using for all of these. You might be asking me why I don't get a 3D printer and start making my tools that way. I really like the feeling of working with wood over something like plastic. I just have this thing in my head, and I know it's not necessarily accurate because it's not like these are 100% wood. There's glues and stuff in them too. There's something in my head about I just don't want to make plastic things and put them out into the universe. Like, I just don't like the amount of plastic that exists in this world, and I don't want to contribute to it. Like, whenever I ship things, it's completely plastic free. I just try and avoid making things out of plastic as much as I can. So that's why, even though this is not like the most durable material that it can be, I would prefer to make it out of wood, at least HDF. And then once you figure out the size you need for your candles, for your specific clay, then you can go ahead and produce it out of plastic as you wish, or do whatever you want. I think even out of like just a normal, like full grain, whole grain wood would be perfectly long lasting. It would be a really great alternative plastic. So all that said, I'll have these pre-ordered on my website. It's probably gonna take me only a week or so to make them if you want them. Otherwise, you can buy a little horse. And if you don't want either of those, but you still want to support the channel, you can find me on Patreon. We're doing all sorts of fun things over on Patreon. You get insights into new videos, you get first dibs on all my pottery pieces, and it's just a good time. We've got some really fun chats going on over there. We've been doing the pot along, which has been super, super fun. I hope to do another one soon. And if you don't want to do any of those things, that's also fine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.